His lies were not mere fibs. He has no place in the Nassau County Republican Committee, nor should he serve in public service, nor as an elected official. He's disgraced the House of Representatives, and we do not consider him one of our congresspeople. Today, on behalf of the Nassau County Republican Committee, I am calling for his immediate resignation.
That's the Nassau County, New York Republican Party chair calling for their newly elected congressman to resign. Reporters caught up with Republican George Santos earlier today. He's a serial liar and fabricator that now is a duly sworn member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Here's his response.
Will you step down?
I will not. Yeah. And he said as much after each revelation of his totally faked background. And it's important to run through them. First, his education. He said he went to Horace Mann Prep School and graduated from NYU and Baruch College. He didn't. He campaigned on a vast experience in finance, working for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, not to mention a large real estate portfolio he claimed he had. It was all a lie. And who wouldn't want a congressman that ran an animal charity, lost employees in the Puss nightclub shooting, a man with Jewish background whose family escaped the Holocaust only to have his mother die on 9/11? And he knows about COVID since he was one of the first people diagnosed with it. It's all a lie. Long before the New York Times went after Santos, Grant Lally of the Northshore Leader investigated Santos and found serious problems with his life story. Grant joins us now, who's the publisher of the paper. All right. Is there more to come out in this story, or is this just going to be Groundhog Day of everybody saying Santos is a liar and the press harassing him?
Hey, Leland, it's great to be on. And look, this is going to come to a head pretty soon. There are over 100 FBI agents, New York State Attorney General investigators, DA investigators on Santos right now. And look, what we uncovered, we knew this guy was a fraud, and we've known he's a fraud for years. But what is going to get him, and what we saw, and what caused us to not endorse him and to support his opponent in the election was the fake entries in his campaign finance and his personal financial disclosures. And those are all felonies, and that's going to result in those silver handcuffs going on his wrists.
You say you didn't endorse him, meaning that you would have been predisposed to endorse a Republican.
Well, look, I mean, we're a more Republican newspaper.
Okay, fair. No, I was just.
But we endorse Democrats. I mean, we try to be fair and look at everyone. But Santos, it wasn't a close call.
Fair enough. And I know you're going to answer this in one way, but I have to ask it. Am I being too conspiratorial to think that the New York Times and others saw your reporting, knew who George Santos was, and let him get elected so they'd have this phenomenal story and cudgel to beat Republicans up with?
Look, what happened here is really a reverse bait and switch. Santos was not a serious candidate. He was supposed to be a sacrificial lamb. He ran 2 years ago against Tom Suozzi, lost by 15 points. He was running again this year, and the expectation was, and it actually happened, was that the Democratic legislature would draw a heavily gerrymandered, non-competitive Democratic district. And that's what they did. And he was the candidate because he was going to run and lose. And so not a lot of people paid attention. But what happened was in June, just 6 months ago, New York's top court threw out the maps, ordered new maps drawn, and suddenly George Santos found himself the nominee in a leans Republican district. So, and in a red wave year. And really that's the deep story here of what happened.
Yeah, sort of the accidental congressman turns out to be a complete fraud. The FEC complained against George Santos that he knew he willingly served as a straw donor for unknown persons. Santos' campaign committee deliberately violated disclosures and requirements, illegally used campaign funds to pay for personal expenses. Given his background, none of that would really surprise anybody. The fact of the matter, though, is that in the end, it is up to the House of Representatives to expel a member. They need 2/3 of a vote, and so far, Kevin McCarthy, the new House Speaker, has said no. He was elected to serve, and we're going to allow that to happen. Do you see anything changing that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, look, it was a tidal wave. I'm here in New York. It was a tidal wave today of Republican leaders, Republican office holders, saying that this guy is a disgrace. He's beyond the pale. He has defrauded everyone. I mean, he took over $1 million from local people.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.